On January 23rd, 2025, Bowen Yang and Rachel Sennett woke up before the sun had even risen to announce the nominees for the 97th Academy Awards. I watched eagerly as they announced the 10 nominees for Best Picture, and like many of you, I too had some thoughts on it, so I decided to do a video. I'll talk about the nominees one by one, briefly giving an overview about the film and my thoughts on it, and then at the end I'll give you my own ranking. For the first time, I've seen all the nominees before they were announced, so I am very excited to do this video. Before I begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe. This would mean so much to me. Alright, let's begin.
Anora.
Anora, directed by Sean Baker, tells the story of an escort named Anora, who impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch. Her Cinderella story is threatened when his parents find out about the wedding and set out to get it annulled. The film won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival and online has been the subject to a lot of discussions. From what I've seen, the film has been generally divisive, with some calling it the best film of the year and some saying the film was a major disappointment. I am honestly right in the middle of this. My feelings are almost conflicted. While I certainly enjoyed the film as I found it funny, I wasn't blown away as others were. Maybe my expectation was too high after seeing it rack up all those awards and hearing other people hype it up. I low-key enjoyed the second half more, especially when things go all frantic after the arrival of the oligarch's henchmen. I think it's here where we get to see a lot of conflicting feelings Anora is feeling, and that to me is what makes the film click. We see Anora lash out, but deep down we also feel her fear and uncertainty. As the night progresses, her hope and her Cinderella dreams also start chipping away, and I think Mikey Madison shows that phenomenally. But I also agree with people who say the film didn't really go deeper into Anora as a character. Since the film starts getting more and more frantic, we only really get to sit with Anora at the end, which is not enough. I think the film is worth a watch just for Mikey Madison and Yura Borisov alone.
The Brutalist.
According to IMDb, which by the way is where I'm getting the loglines for all these films, The Brutalist is a 3-hour 45-minute epic about a visionary architect and his wife who flee post-war Europe in 1947 to rebuild their legacy and witness the birth of modern United States, and how their lives are changed forever by a mysterious wealthy client. Because of the long runtime, this Brady Corbet-directed film was released with an inbuilt 15-minute intermission. I honestly don't have a lot of thoughts about The Brutalist. I enjoyed the film and the performances, but I think I might need to watch this one again to really take in everything. One thing I will say though is that I thought Guy Pearce was just extraordinary in this. I realized after I got out of the theaters that the only thing I remember Pearce in was Mayor of Easttown, so I might need to refresh on his filmography now. If he ends up winning the Supporting Actor Oscar, I honestly would not be mad. Oh, and there's a scene towards the end with Felicity Jones that gave me goosebumps.
A Complete Unknown.
Well, it's a biopic about Bob Dylan, and going into this I knew nothing about him, and coming out of it, I still don't. Also, who else is surprised that he is still alive? I really thought he had died years ago. Very embarrassing for me, but happy he's still here with us. Like I said, this one's a biopic. It really isn't anything special. Sure, it is a step above from some other biopics that I've seen, but that's a very low bar to clear. I like when biopics take risks or do things uniquely, like Rocketman or Better Man, but A Complete Unknown is completely traditional. It does get into something interesting towards the end when it explores whether or not an artist has any obligation towards his fans to create the things that they want the artist to create, or should the artist create for himself and not cater towards the fan. But this is just too little and too late. I guess fans of Bob Dylan would like it. I'm not sure because I haven't talked to one about this, so if you're a fan of Bob Dylan, tell me in the comments. Timothée Chalamet is pretty good here. I assume he's doing a good impression or at least capturing Dylan's essence well based on all the nominations he's been getting. Monica Barbaro gave my favorite performance in the film though. As someone who knew Joan Baez going in, it was great to see her capture Baez so well. Every time she wasn't on screen, I waited for her eagerly. I'm not too mad about her nomination.
Conclave.
When Cardinal Lawrence is tasked with leading one of the world's most secretive and ancient events, selecting a new pope, he finds himself at the center of a conspiracy that could shake the very foundation of the Catholic Church. Conclave is so good, it's pulpy and kept me on the edge throughout. It's an absolute banger of a film. Like I said in my Letterboxd review, divas in long dresses gossiping with each other and trying to snatch a win. This is basically RuPaul's Drag Race. And you know what? I stand by it. It was just so much fun seeing these men scheme, talk shit about each other, and try to make each other lose. It's so entertaining The film also expertly balances the campy and pulpy tone with more serious stuff like conversations about religious tolerance and faith. And through the quiet character of Sister Agnes, the film also explores the role of women in the church. This was one of my favorites from 2024, and if you have seen it, you know about the crazy twist at the end. I did not see it coming, and I was gooped and gagged. I was not expecting it, and honestly, I doubt anyone else did either.
Dune Part 2.
This sequel follows Paul Atreides, who unites with the Fremen while on the warpath of revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the universe, he endeavors to prevent a terrible future. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of the first film, but the second film absolutely made me a Dune head. I even sat through the 6 episodes of Dune Prophecy show because of this film. I even plan to read the books now because of this film. It's just grand in every sense of the word, and Denis Villeneuve is just so incredible. Every frame is like a painting, okay? Absolutely breathtaking, and the score is fabulous. I am keeping this quick, but I wish I could watch this again on IMAX.
Emilia Pérez.
Emilia Pérez follows 4 remarkable women in Mexico, each pursuing their own happiness. Cartel leader Emilia enlists Rita, an unappreciated lawyer, to help fake her death so that she can finally live authentically as her true self. In more clearer words, it's about a cartel boss who transitions. I did not like this movie. I think everyone is probably aware of the criticisms that people have about this film regarding its Mexican and trans representation. I think you should definitely read some of those articles that go in depth and talk about those issues regarding this film. I'll link some in the description. For me, this film is just a bad musical. The songs in it are awful, and honestly, I wish the film didn't take itself too seriously. For God's sakes, this film has a song about gender reassignment surgery where a character sings "From penis to vagina." And when I watched it in theaters at a special screening, the entire theater was dead silent. Like, hello? I almost burst my spleen trying to hold my laughter. Wish the entire film carried this tone throughout because the rest of the film is just so fucking dull. Zoe Saldana is definitely the shining aspect of this film. Carla Sofia Gascon made history with her nomination, and I'm very happy for her, but the fact that the film is the most Oscar-nominated foreign film is actively pissing me off. I don't think the filmmakers understand anything about transgender people. The constant misgendering of Emilia was abysmal and infuriating. It's just baffling to me that this film is so beloved in the award circuit. Maybe these award show voters need to meet more trans people. In a year where I Saw the TV Glow came out, this movie is winning all these awards. Like, don't piss me off. Also, justice for Trace Lysette. Monica and her performance should have been nominated everywhere in the last year's Oscars.
I'm Still Here.
In I'm Still Here, a mother is forced to reinvent herself when her family's life is shattered by an act of arbitrary violence during the tightening grip of a military dictatorship in Brazil in 1971. First of all, I'm so happy this film is nominated not only in Best Picture but also in Foreign Language Film category. It absolutely deserves it. The way Walter Salles sets up the story by letting us take the time to get to know each member of the family and letting us spend the little moments that they spend with each other so intimately makes us care about them. My stomach was in knots from the very first scene watching them play with the dog, knowing that something awful was coming. And when it does happen, you're watching along with them, feeling every bit of pain, frustration, fear, helplessness, and uncertainty that they're feeling. The pacing in the second half becomes slower, perhaps to put us in Eunice's shoes. The world around her is crumbling slowly as she tries to piece back together her and her family's life. She's stuck in limbo, and the only person she has to rely on is herself. Fernanda Torres is an absolute powerhouse here. She captures Eunice's resilience and struggles so effectively. A single look conveying a lifetime of emotion. I had high expectations for her performance based on what I'd heard online, and she exceeded all those expectations. Truly fantastic. She is my pick to win Best Actress. Also, the end cameo from Fernanda Montenegro broke me into pieces. What a phenomenal movie.
Nickel Boys!
Based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Colson Whitehead, Nickel Boys chronicles the powerful friendship between 2 young African-American men navigating the harrowing trials of reform school together in Florida. The film is entirely told in the first-person point of view of both the guys, and honestly, it took me a minute to get used to the style, especially when it switches perspective with the other character, but once I settled in, the experience just truly blew me away. This film quite literally puts you in the character's shoes. We see the world through their eyes, and every bit of hope, love, and fear they feel is amplified tenfold because of this. Ramel Ross's direction is just so good, from the shot choices to the way he directs his actors. This is a director that is in command of his voice and knows what emotion he wants to convey to his audience and how he wants to do it. Also, every time Ingenue Ellis appeared on screen, the diva made me cry. It's a travesty that she, and Joan Chen for Didi, were overlooked so hard this entire Oscar season. Please watch this film in theaters if it's playing near you. It truly is an unforgettable film and you should experience it in the biggest of screens.
The Substance.
In The Substance, a fading celebrity takes a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. First of all, what a batshit crazy movie. I love body horror and this was right up my alley. I felt a lot of heavy feelings while watching this, especially because I have a very complicated relationship with my own body, and just seeing how Coralie Farjah amplifies these insecurities through Demi Moore's character just hit me so hard. The film is about aging as well, and it's the critique about the toxic beauty standard that I found the most relatable. As for the horror part, I mean, this film absolutely fucks. It's just gnarly and visceral with body parts flying everywhere. I mean, what a picture. It's crazy to me that this is nominated for Best Picture, like this is so major. I am surprised that the old Academy members didn't pass away while watching this and actually voted for it. Demi Moore is great and I'm happy she's nominated, and Coralie Farjah should win the directing Oscar. Sad to see Margaret Qualley snubbed. I think without the combined talent of both Moore and Qualley, this film would have fallen apart.
And Wicked.
Based on the Broadway musical of the same name, Wicked follows Elphaba, a young woman misunderstood because of her green skin, and Galinda, a popular girl who she becomes friends with at Shiz University in the Land of Oz. After an encounter with the wonderful Wizard of Oz, their friendship reaches a crossroad. A lot of discourse about the way the movie looks, and honestly I do agree with a lot of those criticisms. I think the backlighting in a lot of the songs just dulled the movie down, and had they gone with a more technicolor look, this would have elevated the film more in my opinion. But with that being said, I loved Wicked. It just felt epic and I was mesmerized. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford to see the Broadway show, so to me, this was everything. Every musical number had me energized. When Cynthia Erivo sang Defying Gravity, I had goosebumps. Ariana Grande surprised me as well. We know she's a talented singer, but her comedic timing and acting chop really took me by surprise in the best of ways. Jonathan Bailey, I love you. And say what you want, I thought Michelle Yeoh was amazing in this. She mothered like no one else has ever mothered before. So, those were the 10 nominees. Before I move to the ranking, let me list some movies that I think were robbed of a nomination for Best Picture. These films were just incredible and deserve some kind of recognition. Of course, I understand we only have 10 slots, but let me still mention them. I Saw the TV Glow, Sing Sing, Didi, and All We Imagine as Light definitely were robbed of a Best Picture nomination. Alright, let's move on to the actual ranking. At number 10, Emilia Pérez, duh. Number 9, A Complete Unknown. Number 8 is The Brutalist. 7 is Anora. Now moving forward are the films I overall loved. It's a ranking, so something has to be up and something has to be down. 6 is Wicked, 5 is Dune Part 2, 4 is Nickel Boys, and 3 is Conclave. At number 2 is the incredible I'm Still Here, and of course, number 1 is The Substance. So there you have it, a full breakdown of the Best Picture nominees, complete with my thoughts and ranking. Please comment with your rankings, I would love to see it. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.